being joined by David Sufair at this point, who's a Republican strategist, Sonika Aaron, who's a founder for Marching Sheep, Lloyd Mathias, who's a business executive and independent director, as well as Pawan Duggal, who's a cyber security expert. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining me. Lloyd Mathias, let me just come straight to you and ask you, one thing that everybody talks about these days is reinvention, about how you need to upskill yourself, you need to reskill yourself, you need to reinvent yourself, you need to work yourself along with the times. And yet, if you look at Technicolor, that's literally what the story of Technicolor has been since decades. It's reinvented itself as the industry changed, as the demands changed, and it's completely collapsed. Is this just about Technicolor, which of course had a lot of financial concerns, struggles whatsoever, and a lot of backlog, or is there a larger concern?
Thank you for having me on your show, Sneha. I think the issue is beyond Technicolor. To start with, I think businesses tend to be cyclical, and we're entering a cycle of when businesses are starting to look at their manpower and looking to get more efficient. And two positive factors. I think one big trigger, specifically in the context of the US, has been, of course, the new Trump administration and Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency. It's really looking at downsizing governance, which to a large extent may be in the right direction. The other clearly is that tech businesses, which pretty much went through a purple patch after COVID, things started looking up, people spent lots of time at home during the lockdown and such like. So various sectors, fintech, edtech, they were on a roll. They actually boomed pretty much through 21, 22, and 23. I think now a little bit of reality is catching up. And I think the big concern world over is two parts. One is that the DOGE, or Department of Government Efficiency, is likely an idea that may be replicated by governments across the world. A lot of people believe that bureaucracy and governments were bloated. And I think this move might trigger other countries to look closely at their bureaucracy. So that could trigger one level. Two, I believe businesses are also looking at efficiency, albeit largely being pushed by AI, and the fact that AI is automating or making a lot of jobs which were kind of mechanical, redundant, right? And I think AI has really, agentic AI and such like, has really come to become part of a lot of organizations. So whether it's customer service functions, whether it's a lot of routine functions, I think AI is proving that it can do it as effectively, if not better, than human interface. So I think this combination is going to make the next year or so a little stressful. It is going to actually reduce, reduce employment to an extent, which will obviously result in a lot of people finding themselves without a job. And like you rightly mentioned, I think the challenge always to humankind always is reinvention. The fact that people have to now learn to upskill faster than ever. Right? Earlier, you possibly had a decade between every kind of phase. I think now that cycle is. So just lots of jobs will fall by the wayside, but knowing people's ability to reinvent, I think will make a big difference. So it's really going to test people's resilience, agility, ability to upskill. And I think a lot of people might struggle with those challenges.